Alrighty, hello there. We have a Plat Zenyatta, normally around 2700, playing in a Scrim, it appears to be, on a custom game. They're playing goats on Temple of Anubis attack. See how it goes.
Or do it when we're on defense, and then they will lose time.
Alright, we're gonna go right, and we're gonna go super high ground.
Okay. Wait, which way is right again? Hold on. Left hand, right hand. Okay, got it. Don't worry, guys. I got it.
Oh, right.
Speaking the mic.
We got a sim.
Oh, the Sim Bastion.
Oh, easy clap, easy clap. Keep going high ground, keep going high ground.
High speed.
Oh, hello.
Good, moving with your team. Like it so far.
No, they're gonna stay over there.
Just get cooldowns. Ready?
Now turn your mic down, whoever you are.
Nope.
Okay, we're gonna go under them. Okay?
Yep.
Ready?
And then we're gonna come back.
3, 2, 1. Go. Go under them, go under them.
Under.
Right here, right in here.
Diva.
Never mind, I missed. Lucio.
I like that you immediately went for the diva when she came down a little bit, but she went back up to high ground, so she's no longer the target. Always, when you're in this kind of situation, look for people that try to drop to contest the point. There's somebody on it right now, I believe they're to your left. But always go for people that drop first, because they're the easiest targets for your team. Because remember, only Zen really has any sort of range. Your Ryan can't contest people up the high ground, your Zarya can't do anything about it. So it's important to make sure that you're attacking the right targets.
Just get card progress. They
Still the
teleported. Other side, come over here. Group up on me.
I'm trying.
They don't have a shield, Lucio?
Make sure you keep heal orb on someone who actually needs it. Your Zarya is full health, but your diva is flying up to high ground to fight them, and she's getting shredded, and your Ryan is also a little bit low. So just make sure you're keeping your health orb on people that are needing it, that are actively in danger.
Lucio's one.
Mercy.
Sim drop. Sim. Mercy.
Oh,
I need help. There's a turret somewhere.
she got away with the res.
You have orb. Divas.
Diva dropped, there you go, target her, good.
Baby. Just Lucio.
I like your positioning here, by the way. The Bastion is up on the high ground. He's up here somewhere, and you're just hanging out in this corner, and he can't see you. He'll shoot through here, but he can't see you, right? Really smart positioning there. Ooh, that's dangerous.
Oh, he's low.
Dangerous to do that. One shot and you're dead.
Nice.
Good. Alright. We can
job.
snowball this. We have all
Alright, yeah, you completely rolled them there because they were not prepared for the goats.
They're swapping. They have nothing. Speed.
We don't break.
They got a Pharah now.
Let's go.
Go.
Straight through.
Speed. Bastion's on hunt.
Now, if you run in a straight line like that with your team not being aware of you, you're gonna get triple tapped or double tapped by the Pharah.
We go hard.
Like that.
It's okay.
Ryan.
Though I believe your team should be fine here. I mean,
still
you've
win.
killed the enemy Ryan and
Zar.
you've got the ults.
Nice. Holy shit, boys.
Yeah.
Okay, I got left.
Yeah, they were not prepared for that whatsoever.
I don't think they touched.
Yes!
Good God, boys. Holy shit.
We're the GOATS team in the match game.
Oh, I wouldn't
I don't
say textbook, but it works.
think I've ever seen anything more perfect. I'm not even
Except you
gonna lie.
dying.
That's irrelevant.
That's irrelevant.
I've never seen anything more perfect. I mean, I
But
didn't die.
but I like dying because I don't want to live. So
Dying is perfect.
Okay, so hey,
Dying is
I have a
perfectly
question.
fine.
No.
No question.
What?
I was gonna say, can I run Hanzo over Jug just because?
I don't like what you have here so far. So you've got a Mercy and Anna as your support duo, and that can work in Plat, but the issue with it is that it has no defensive ult. Not really. I mean, you got Nano, but that can only save one person. Mercy can peel for the Anna, but the Anna cannot really peel for the Mercy too well, especially if she's trying to fight off someone herself. If they have like a coordinated dive or something, and they all pile onto the Diva, or not the Diva, the Anna, the Mercy can only heal her so much. The Diva, or I keep saying Diva, the Anna would have to fight off the people without the Mercy's help, because Mercy can't really fight people, and so there's no real ability to strongly peel. Like for a Lucio, for example, would be able to peel for an Anna much better. because a Lucio would be able to boot people away, speed you away, heal you up a little bit, and also fight the people that are attacking you because his gun is pretty decent. For your tank lineup, you've got D.Va and Orisa. Okay, I guess. You've got the high ground contest with the D.Va. You've got, you know, the Matrix to eat things that the Orisa can't. And then you got an Ashe, and then probably your second DPS will probably just go some sort of short-range DPS is what I'm thinking.
Because of Sonic Arrow for the Sombra, and I feel like they're so mobile that junk grenades are too slow for it.
No,
just
But
we
junk
the
buff.
junk damage is way too good.
I don't know. He has a point though.
No, because if we have Zach just spamming around, the Sombra
yeah,
shouldn't be
just
as
stay
big
junk.
a
Okay,
deal.
alright.
Plus
Should I go,
the
should
shield damage.
I-
Junk works.
No,
No, I'm
that
not
doesn't
trying to
work.
switch character.
Okay.
When they're up there on that ledge.
If they go goats here, though, you're going to have a lot of trouble.
No, you stay with Orisa.
Oh,
Yes.
fuck.
Stay with me and just spam for
so the
Sombra.
core of this is Orisa on a D.Va, and you have to stay within. No, Devin, you have too much mobility to be a part of the core. Like you're supposed to jump around between me and Malthus depending on who you're damage boosting.
Hey, Steve, what's gold damage?
Go up top.
Almost 2k. Like we killed them so fast.
Yo, what's
Okay, I have 700 damage.
Brain, I can't get up there. I can't get.
I have 800 damage.
You got it. Go.
Yeah, no,
No, I don't have the range. Like I don't have the time anymore. It's unfortunate.
Hey, guess where the gold healing is?
They have a
So taking this position, I like it so far, but the only potential problem I see is if they have some sort of dive comp, you're going to be super isolated from the rest of your team. They're not going to be able to help you in any real capacity, so if they have a single diver, you might be able to sleep them, but if they have two divers, you'll end up in a situation where you just can't fight them both off. You can sleep one, and then the other one will kill you, and your team will not be able to help you. Mercy won't be able to peel for you at all, like I said earlier, because she'll come over here and then she'll just get killed by the divers if they got a Winston or whatever. And your D.Va can't really protect you because she can't make that distance via flight. It's too far, right? So taking this position is fine as long as they don't have dive. If they have a slow static comp like a Rein Zarya, that's going to want to come up to the right side here. If they come up this way, up to the right side, and come at your team from there, you can just sit back here and heal and put damage into that corridor. But if they run left to the point directly and just go straight here, you're going to be cut off from the rest of your team. The rest of your team's going to be over here, the point's going to be here, and then you'll be over here on high ground all by yourself. So you'll get isolated and killed pretty easily.
1,500.
1,800.
What I would do on this map, if you're defending... Where do I have Overwatch? What I would do on this map, if I was defending it, and I was Anna in this sort of scenario...
Entering the Temple of Anubis. Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Give me a second to run all the way over there. I'm slow. So if your team is holding up here, you have plenty of places you could potentially stand. You could stand right here. This would give you access to a health pack that should be near here. I believe there was. Oh, over there. Yeah, over there. So you have access to that health pack if you run across the point. You could also just stand right over here, but then that kind of cuts off line of sight into the depth part without having to step out of here. So that's not quite good. If your team falls this way, you can also stand here, and you have line of sight to there. And then the place that I would stand for your team would be in here. I would stand and heal across the bottom of this bridge, because while this bridge comes up a little bit, you can still see people's tops of their heads from there, and you can just stand here and land shots onto the top of their head, and also throw nades into that room out there, you know, depending on where they're standing. And you can see them going in there too, so you can maybe hit their backline a little bit, nade their backline, you know, do stuff like that. So I would stand in here, and if you need to, you can come out to this health pack here to heal yourself. Now, if they end up going right side, they'll have to go either up here to you, in which case you just fall this way, rotate this way, and then, you know, fight them off from there. Or, if they don't, if they go straight past you all the way to high ground, then You just come to your team, and you can fight them there. So, I would stand in here if I were you.
Ball's going to point.
Nice.
Sucked! Sucked, boys! We pop off!
Nice.
Yeah, good contest, good contest.
Widow's on bridge.
Okay, they have a Widow, careful.
Oh, careful. Got you,
Lucio's
Kane.
half and mini.
Tracer's low.
Widow's bottom right.
And that's what I mean by, like, unable to peel for the Mercy. Because if she's ever hurt, you have to drop whatever you're doing, find her, and then hit her tiny little hitbox. So it's really hard for you to keep her up.
Widow's on high ground now.
Nice.
Just contest.
Nice.
I'm getting sniped. I'm getting sniped.
You're
Oh, she's
fine.
one.
Just hide, just hide, just hide. Who?
So they have a Widowmaker, so don't peek that location, right? You saw where her tracers were coming from. She's going to be up here, right? So don't peek that area if you know that she's there.
Okay, we're shield. Hello,
Like, she could
Holy shit,
easily
boys,
snipe
we
you as
win.
you peek there.
Oh, dink.
Can't see you.
ball.
Just ignore him.
Still one? There's still one on my dead body. Damn it.
Oh,
Oh, I can't see him. Where'd he go?
he's coming for you,
Can you res it? Can you res it?
but he's garbage, so...
He's dead.
Stack on card. Stack on point. Stack on point.
Ah, dead.
So this is what I mean by getting isolated from your team. They're still kind of over here, and you're up here on the high ground by yourself, and so they can't protect you whatsoever. And if they have multiple divers, like you saw there, the Lucio and the Hammond, you have no way to defend yourself. You might be able to kill the Lucio, but then the Hammond will just kill you, right? So you can't hold high ground positions like that if you're over there alone.
It's fine. Help cam, help.
Especially not against dive. You could maybe do it against a static comp, like I said earlier, but not against a dive comp.
Cam, help cam. On point, 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 point.
Help can, help can.
Nice.
Thank you. Tracer's up top right.
So let them know that you're down a healer, because they might not realize that, right? Say you're down a healer, you only have mercy.
You have only mercy, only mercy. Just stay
Oh,
on
there you
point.
go,
Stay on
okay.
point with Cam.
There you go.
Stay right here. Stay in this corner. Watch Widow. Watch Widow.
I
Got
need
her.
DM.
Nice.
No, I don't need DM.
Help our diva. Help our diva. I'm coming from behind point in 5 seconds.
Bit more than 5 seconds, but
That's why I'm going this way.
They got walls. They got walls.
I'm gonna get dove hard.
Oh,
Widow's on bridge.
so you know that now. Widow's on bridge, so don't peek, right?
I'm tickling her.
You have a shield, but
nice foul. I'm stuck.
Nope.
That's a big oof, boys.
so if you get stuck, don't move. Don't walk around, don't spin around, just stop exactly where you are, take your hands off the keyboard, because you almost killed your Orisa there too.
Tragic. Can you res it?
I'm low top left.
I almost got the widow. Thank you.
Far.
Oh,
Oh, you're
that's
dead.
a big oof, boys.
That's why I don't really like staying in that back area there, because if they drop any sort of splash damage on you, like the Hammond Mines or the Farah or whatever, or if Hammond just comes and flies through there knocking everyone back, you can knock them back off of the point so they can't really contest, or you can knock them forward into open air so you get shot at by the Widow or the Farah. So, like, if I were you, I would have not held in there. I would have come into this room here, or perhaps gone to the other side of the point. Like, as a team, I don't mean just you, I mean, like, as a team, I would have rotated into that room, or into this room, and stayed out of that little corridor there, so that the Hammond couldn't come from behind you and knock you around, or drop mines on you. As for you, though, what you could have potentially done, once the mines, or not the mines, once the Widow sights ended, you could have come over here, and then be in this room and heal your team in this hallway from here. And you can peek them through this little tiny opening here, and you can hit your whole team. You can rotate around this side. If they come out of this and they're on the point, you can now be here. You have to be careful of the Widow here, but if you stand back to where you can see, you can heal around this, right? Or you could have come right here, healed them from here. That gets more and more dangerous, though. Just like more and more dangerous. Or here, even more dangerous. You know, you can just be dived on immediately here. But think about, like, positionings that are perpendicular to your team. You know, facing them instead of facing the same direction as them. Because if you're all here and you're shooting from here, a Hammond comes from behind, knocks you forward, or knocks you back, and then you end up down there and you can't do anything, right? So look for positions where you can see your team, enemies can't see you, and you can still heal them without having to worry about getting shot at or dived on, right? And that's what I wanted.
Oof of the big.
Just stay. If you get that mercy, oh, perfect. Just, okay.
You've got really
No,
nothing to
that's it.
contest this Pharah, so
I,
I'm gonna stay on for
yeah, only the Ash, but
Okay. Actually, no. You guys stay. I'm gonna go monkey. You guys stay what you are right now.
Okay, let me know where they're going.
don't do that. No reason to, right? If their Widow grapples there, you'd be
We already
dead.
have a better time than them. Far
If
as
the
the
Pharah lands 2 directs, you'd be dead. No reason to poke that area.
falls in.
Oh,
Don't worry about him.
No, he's low. Boy.
No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
I need healing.
Come to point, come to point.
Epics, watch out. Trace cliff.
Yeah, I know, I know. There's a lot of people around. Nice dive, nice dive, nice!
Mercy's one, Mercy one, Mercy.
Oh, I'm dead, boys.
so if you get knocked into the air like that, and you're in a situation where you're low and you're flying through the air, just keep position changing. If you get knocked into the air, you can always use a wall to nade yourself. You can just like go like that and nade yourself. Even if you get knocked up the wall, you can just turn and nade yourself.
Oh, nice res.
Where's the mercy? Where's the mercy?
One health and a drink.
It's fire.
So think about your positioning here, right? They've got a Widow. She killed your Mercy. She's up here on the very, very top of the arch. So you don't want to be running across the point in order to heal people point blank with your rifle, when you could be standing off to the side and healing with your range. A lot of Annas do this when they get into a panic. They become projectile mercies, and they'll try to run after their teammates. If you have people that are low, right, you get rezzed about here, and from here, right, you're out of line of sight of the Widowmaker because of this pole, but you're kind of in the middle of thick of things, so why not just run right over here, just sit right here, and heal, right? You can heal across the whole point from here, and you can come around to heal people on the bridge, this side, and you're still out of line of sight of the Widowmaker. Even better, if the Widowmaker grapples up here, which a lot of high-rank Widows will do, you're still out of line of sight in both places. As long as you don't walk forward here, she can see you if you walk forward. But if you stay right next to this, you can heal from here. You can come around. You're still hidden. You can heal from here through these little gaps. Heal the people on the bridge. Heal the people down here. And you can just rotate between these two positions. Instead, you kind of get rezzed here, and then you run across trying to point-blank heal your people that are over here when you can see them from back here. You can just sit back here and heal, right? No need to move forward.
Oh,
And you just kind of, you get shot by the Widow and the Pharah and die.
I hit something.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, dude,
We
Bob,
win.
Pop
Oh,
out.
Bob's
Swap.
got
Your
Widow.
team will carry you, but
Okay, back to goats, back to goats, back to
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Should I stay mercy for Val?
No.
No. It's not worth it.
I'm gonna say monkey.
I don't know about that.
We'll just play monkey goats.
Alright, yeah. Monkey goats against this at least.
There's
I don't know when this VOD was recorded, but if it's post goat killing patch, then going goats against what they have here would not be quite optimal. They've got like super dive. They've got like ultimate dive here. Like they've got the Pharah, they've got the Tracer, Winston, Hammond, Lucio. Like they've got full on dive. So like running goats, especially after nerf, they can just outmaneuver you.
swapped off their ball.
They got
Winston?
Monkey ball.
They're running dive. Dive
Kind of with the
Farah?
Farah.
And they're running like ultra dive, even more dive than dive comp.
Do we? Hey, can we get this?
I would go anti-dive here. I would go like Hog, Brig, McCree, you know, like anti-dive.
No, he went out, he went out.
He'll just.
Monkey,
Oh,
monkey,
oh,
Monkey.
I got
Yeah, effectively solo ulted.
oofed, boys. Call him.
I'm on Lucio.
Call
Oh,
Pizarria.
Yeah, no.
Nah, I got caught. I got getting booed.
If you can stall, I can get primal.
Just stall. Yeah, just
We can
stall.
stall. We can stall. Just stay on point.
On it.
So remember, right? Positioning. If you're coming out of spawn on this map, you don't want to come out like this and just be out in the open. Open as much of an angle as you need to heal, and that's it. Just come to here, right? You can hide and you can heal. Right? You can land shots from here, or you can go around the side here and stand here, right? Land shots from here. You can shoot at the Pharaoh a little bit, you know, and you can just be in spawn without having to come out, again, like a projectile mercy, trying to hit, you know, unscoped shots on people.
Break bubble.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, that's
Because he'll notice you and then drop mines.
hot oof, boys. We can recontest. We can recontest. Just stabilize a little bit. All right, go forward. Go forward. Go forward.
Careful, mine.
There's still mines there. Be careful. Oh,
Ow, so rude.
nice.
Punch. It's fine. We still got a lot more time than they did.
Yeah, but you did C9 there a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Another option would be to go out the right side instead of coming out the left side of spawn. I don't know if this will let me walk into it. It will. Okay. You can come out this side, which is usually a little bit more stealthy. They won't immediately notice you, because a lot of people will try to like blockade that area over there with different ults, but you can just stand here and heal from here. Come to this side, you can heal from here. You can even try to sneak your way back here where no one would notice you, and then just land unscoped so they wouldn't notice you.
We just do it again.
Yeah, I missed my jump and fell off. Fuck.
Yep.
They have a tracer though. That's the problem.
No, not you, Zach.
Can we go with McCree?
Zach, you're permadiva.
I don't know. As Hanzo, I feel like I can take care of myself way more than I can as McCree.
Let me know what they have. What do they got? What do they got?
I'm not gonna put another shield for you, so you got like 10 seconds.
Oh, huge.
Messes one. Shield's back here.
Ball on point.
Back up.
Ah, he does just sleep.
So,
It's just ball.
Zach,
Is it your job to duel him, though? Right? You're a support. Don't play like a DPS if you're a support. It's not your job to duel him.
can you get a point?
It's fine. It's fine.
Chase is up here with me.
And now you're out of position. See that? By taking duels you don't need to take, you'll end up out of position, and unless you have the habit to fix your positioning automatically, now you're just going to be out of position. That Winston dives you, and you have no cover, no health pack, no nothing.
Chase no recall. Chase no cooldowns. Ah, she got mega. Monkey.
I need help.
Or a Widow, you know,
Just
Widow
hide,
could just
hide,
take you out
hide,
right
you're
now.
fine.
Or the Lucio will come for you, because you're out of position.
Am I
Come to
fine?
point.
Back to my
Stack a point.
Not fine.
There's a Lucio asleep.
Nice sleep.
Keep your own.
We're fine. This is fine. This is what fine looks like. I need.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's fine. Zach, can you go try and pick up?
Okay, no.
I'm playing with.
Got the right idea, but just back up a few feet.
I'm right here, guys.
I'm gonna Valkyrie.
Because like I said earlier, you can heal people over this bridge here. You don't have to be over the bridge on their side.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Hold on.
Monkey.
Oh,
I got melted.
I'm resing that.
Mercy's one.
Balls one.
They don't see me.
Monkey.
They don't see me.
And see, now you're in a panic, you're flailing around, you're trying to deal with everyone attacking you at once, all because you're mispositioned. You have a situation where you're in position, where you're in cover, you can chill. You know, you don't have to flail your mouse around looking every which way if you're safe inside of a room. Because the Pharah, what Pharah wants to do is just rain damage on you from above, which you can do easily if you are mispositioned. So if you're out here, you know, or you fall to point, you end up in the situation where you're like flailing around looking for people to shoot at, when if you were just in here, you can heal point from here. You can come out a little bit, maybe. You know, and you're still out of line of sight of any Widowmaker that might try to come here. And you can just heal. You can chill. Because if you come out here and you're flailing around and you're going under here and freaking out, your healing per second goes way down because you don't have the chance to line up shots, right? You have to hit only unscoped, which is more difficult to hit because it's projectile. And you have to nade yourself constantly and no one can peel for you and it's no good. You want to make sure that you're safe in a position where you can only move your crosshair a little bit and just chill and hit shots, right?
oh, far half.
Yeah, she killed you because you're out of position.
I need healing.
Now we're down.
Lucio's low.
Swap. Swap to Rhine goats
Bob
after.
is gonna be good. Bob is gonna film.
Just contest and then. I think that's.
Yeah, like I said, anti-dive would be a lot better. The Hanzo is a starter, but
Oh, damn it. Fuck.
be better with a McCree, some sort of stun DPS.
Yeah.
They just got so much dive, they're just diving you to pieces, pretty much.
Don't swap immediately. Malphus, don't swap immediately, because dragons will
No,
go
I know,
away.
I know.
Yeah, just making sure. Don't chase, don't chase, don't chase.
He's killable, he's killable.
Lucio.
This is a free kill, yeah. He got caught out. He wanted to come with his Hammond, but Hammond's faster than him.
I know.
Ball's asleep right here, ball! Ball
Nice.
right here, I mean, he's asleep.
You're very loud, but nice.
3, 2, 1. Nice!
Just let your Rhine charge him. You woke him there. You didn't need to necessarily wake him. Your Rhine was charging to get him. You could have just let him get charged.
Huge!
Tracer's
stack point, stack point.
Tracer's right.
Alright, I'm
What do they
playing.
have?
They probably got barrage.
Did he
Look
use
for
Bresh?
barrage.
Oh, bit of a freeze.
Point.
Zach, save DM for barrage. I'm saving
Barrage,
sleep.
do they have
Yeah,
bombs?
save all of DM for
Good idea, right? Save sleep for barrage.
barrage.
They have mines.
Oh, yeah, they have. That's the
Oh,
mine.
here comes the mines.
Clear bubbles.
Oh,
There it is!
oh,
There's the brush.
oof.
Lucio's one.
Back to point, come on point.
Yeah, no, back on point.
Bar's one.
Back off.
Thank you for that help.
Mercy's low.
So why walk out here, right? That panic I'm talking about, right? There's no reason for you to come out of that room. At least that way. You could have come out of the room a different way, but you kind of just walk out onto the point and suicide because they've got so much damage flying around there. You're going to have situations where you won't be able to see people, yes, if you're in here, because if they pull off that way, but you don't need to come out into the room to heal people. You can just stay here, heal people, or take a different angle, peek from here, right? Or you could try to mosey your way into here, to where you have cover in here, and you can just hang out in here, right? And you can come back to spawn that way to do whatever, and heal yourself, and all kinds of stuff like that. Keep doing that.
Ah, that's unlucky. We could fight on. I was in a. Yeah. Just fight on point, fight it out. I almost have nano.
Steve, go McCree. Steve, go McCree.
Yeah.
Tragic, boys. They can't kill me. I am invincible.
I can
Charge
touch,
in.
I can touch.
Charge in.
Don't worry, I'm already out.
I would not charge in.
Oh, yeah, we got
You got stopped early, but
Your on is dead.
yeah.
Mercy, rest it. Help me, help me.
Just back to
You missed your sleep there. You could have slept him and then just ran past him.
spawn. Careful, monkey ult.
Can't see you, Cam.
Call him. Can we get Mercy?
Now he's got primal, so he's just gonna beat your McCree to death.
I'm being
Steven.
bullied by monkey,
That
dude.
feels sad, man.
I'm not giving them anything.
I'm on Lucio.
Stall,
at least-
Just stall.
Just keep stalling, just keep stalling.
The problem I have with Moira, you get one fade, and then after your fade, they'll just focus you down.
That's my job. Tell me when there's a majority.
Moira is pretty bad against dive because they can just pursue you after
Alright,
you
we're
faded.
good, we're good.
They can just pursue you after you faded like that.
Never mind. Yeah, we're just stalling at this point.
Zack it on point.
I'm on point, I'm on point.
Please.
Blue mines.
It's fine.
Oh, dude, I got
Far.
See, if you were alive, you could have slept that Pharah, right?
Point.
Could be.
Get on.
And still Anna, of course, but
I
If
don't
we can't
think I got
focus
anyone
Winston?
besides myself.
Get on.
Just try and focus someone.
Yeah,
Yep.
focus Mercy if you can. Healer, Mercy
Bro,
or Lucio.
call out who you're on, right? If you're attacking that Tracer and she's low, or you're attacking that Mercy and she's low, say, you know, on Tracer, on Mercy. They want you to call out people. They're even saying call targets, so do that, right?
Trying. Dog, you have no
Bars one.
idea. I don't see her.
Mercy.
Ferris half.
Yeah.
Mercy's low.
You had fade there. You could have faded, but they would have just killed you after the fade.
That's zero. So keep.
Alright. Just stall for as long as possible. Call him.
Mercy bridge.
Push her. Nice. Lucio?
Yes, this is her win condition.
Lucio?
Can
We
get,
respawn
Winston,
faster.
Please?
Yes. No. Zack, keep bomb.
Hello, Tracer.
Calm.
Pharah, can we get Pharah?
Can you get fire? Fire?
Not really. No one else can shoot her but you.
Oof, that's some hot tea, boys.
Hello, mine.
Lucio.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's no real reason to keep contesting, because the kills are not coming through. No one's really going to be able to kill anyone here, and it's already overtime with 0, so just, there's no real reason to keep contesting this unless you can definitely get kills, and it's not really coming through, so...
Nice.
That's a good bomb.
Is it?
It's not a big bomb, but it's a good bomb. Can we get Pharah? Focus. Look at Pharah.
Your wall blocked.
Yeah, Farah is tearing you guys apart because you're the only one that can really kill her.
Fine, we got them to 0 though.
Yeah, we got them.
But we have to cap. Okay.
So with 0 seconds on their attack, that means that if you guys get the first point and then I believe a tick of the second, you win.
That's fine.
I don't think they're gonna run the same thing.
We have 6 minutes.
Alright, same thing as Duran. Same thing.
We snowball.
Okay, there's 4 goats.
Lucio, please. Oh, dude, it's a feels bad.
Yeah, Devin, I think you shaved off like 3 minutes. of
Skip
their time.
forward.
So mobile.
Going
that
Widow
it's
here, huh?
next to impossible.
Yeah, I even put it in like a spot where it goes.
That's why you gotta wait for
Yeah, got it.
grab. Wait for a grab, you get the freest 6Ks of your life.
It's like
do
tiny
it.
slash.
Big winnable. Big winnable.
Steve, we're.
Oh, I see. You're just going Widow to
Alright,
check the
same
high
plan,
ground.
same plan.
Mega high ground, right?
The highest of high ground.
What do they have, Zach?
I don't see anything.
Hopefully they don't run
Hiding.
bunker and throw again.
Let's go high ground. Let's go super high ground.
Oh, they've got their dive.
Help his
You're
end,
dead.
Nice.
I got Tracer.
You should have died there.
I'm on point. If they're just gonna.
There we go.
Monkey one.
Lucio. I need healing.
You only have Lucy right now.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Take
Call
your
him.
Fire.
Can't call Farah if there's no one alive that can kill Farah.
I'm just holding shield. I'm low.
Okay, goodbye.
Holy
I'm
Jesus.
getting out if I can.
No, that's a reset.
How did I get 30? Oh my god.
Okay,
I hate
so I'm
him.
kind of stuck behind.
Can
Just
you get
die,
out?
Just die or get out.
Jump on point.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Nope.
Okay.
They use mines. They have
Um,
barrage.
Do we just run straight forward into?
They have barrage.
Yeah, if they do that again, we run right into point.
I'll speed boost this thing.
Real here.
No. Wait one. Oh, help his end.
So, bad positioning, right? You're moving forward into an area that isn't safe. If I'm going to run back and forth. Actually, it's good that I'm over here so I can just Zen. So as Zen, when you're running Zen in goats, or as part of a aggressive forward team, over there, having to run. So if you're attacking this map on Zen, you only want to go where you have cover and you have your teammate backup. So if you're going forward here, because your team was not going forward, they were just kind of milling about in the choke, and you went forward here and you got cut off and isolated and nearly died. So depending on which way your team is going, if you're trying to go to the right or the left, you want to pick a direction to go with your team and then quickly follow your team in. You want to be like toward the middle. You don't want to be the last person in, because then they'll just clip you in the back, right? You want to be between 2 people or 3 people where you have support if they dive you. You can move in here, and if as your team moves up, you can stay here. You can fire into here, heal, you can take this angle, right? You can do all kinds of stuff as you come in, but just make sure that you aren't getting cut off and isolated as you got here.
I had to amp.
If that Farah had better aim, you would have died.
It's okay. Ignore him. He's pushing us in.
Epics, please.
I'm still fine.
Whoa, we can get him.
Oh, bit of a freeze.
Monkey. First, good beat. I'm stuck.
Tracer
Nice,
dead.
very nice.
Ball.
Huge. Watch the res.
Watch the res.
Oh, I'm being booped like no other man.
Because you're mispositioned. You're in the middle of the entire fight.
I'm falling out. No.
Stack 'em point, stack 'em point, stack 'em point. With the...
Winston's low, Winston's low.
Oh, I'm being bullied by 2 healers. This feels
Yeah.
bad.
I mean, you are alone.
Alright, I think we have to go super high. We have to go super high.
We got that mercy.
There's no point going.
Going super high won't save you because they have dive comp.
There's no point to going super
Alright,
high. They
okay.
run brawl anyways.
Yeah, your
Roll
teammate calls it out.
Roll out,
It's
roll out.
winnable. It's winnable. It's winnable.
No. Back up, back up, back up.
Roll out, roll out!
Come on,
It's winnable. It's winnable.
It's just ball. It's just ball.
Ball and Tracer.
There's 6
I'm on
left.
Lucio. Lucio's one. Tracer next. Tracer next.
Nope.
Up 1.
So you move forward too much there, right? You expose yourself to the Pharah, who's coming out from her spawn, right? You are right here. There's going to be people respawning and coming back from this way that are going to be firing down this angle. So don't move further forward than you need to be, right? Stand here, right here. You've got the cover, right? You could also potentially stand in here with the health pack, and you can fire through onto point. You can heal through from here. This is within your heal range. So you can stand here on this health pack and just chill, right? Chill. You want to always be chilling with supports, because if you're not chilling, you're in the middle of the fight, and you'll just get killed by either constant random spam damage, or by someone targetedly trying to take you out, like that Pharah that was coming back from there. So just chill out, hang out by a health pack or some sort of safety in an area, right? And just chill and fight on the point from here. You're a projectile hero, so you don't have damage fall off.
Monkey.
Nowhere else, nowhere else.
Like, you had to trance for no reason there because you were gonna die to the Pharah.
Tracer, nice.
Okay. Hi. Hello.
On the ball.
Mercy. Monkey.
Monkey. Ingram.
Fire grab.
Ball.
Monkey one, and monkey one behind.
Nearly got him there. If you would have landed a few headshots, you would have gotten him.
Monkey. Mercy, change mercy.
On Mercy.
Lucio.
Tracer.
Hey, 2 beasts, 1 fight. Let's go.
I got Tracer.
Get Tracer.
Get Tracer, get that Tracer.
Yeah, you lost your ult charge.
Lucio. Down monkey.
Ball.
Ball.
Far.
Monkey.
Monkey.
Oh, freeze again.
Monkey's one. Ball.
Nice, you got the Pharah.
I barely got that Pharah.
They res.
I was like shooting at her from super long distance.
Lucio.
What? She got res.
Lucio
tried
point.
to
Lucio
ult?
point. Lucio point.
Your diva should have expected that res.
Far.
Fire above.
The Pharah is their win condition, right? If you think about it, the Pharah is really the biggest portion of their damage on the enemy team. It's the one thing that they can fight you with that you can't really deal with. So whenever you kill her, that's a huge win for you and a huge loss for them. So they're, of course, going to immediately res that, right? Diva should have kept an eye on it. And I think this is a coordinated, like, PUG pre-made game. So tell your Diva, make sure that they don't get the res, right? Pay attention to the Pharah's body and make sure that they don't get the res off, because that's their win condition.
They're staggering hard. We just need to roll them when they.
If we can kill that fire fast.
There you go.
Nice.
Okay, now Mercy.
Who's on?
Monkey.
Monkey first.
Ball.
You got stuck here, so remember, stop moving, because you don't want to blow your Zarya up, right? Or your Diva, who's right next to you. And you got stuck here because, again, your positioning is really, really bad. You're in the middle of the point as Zen, which is fine if... Oh, I guess my thing stopped because it ran out of time. It's fine if your team is
Entering the Temple of Anubis.
just pure capturing the point, but you don't want to be in the middle of the point if they start recontesting. Like, as soon as that Pharah came back, you should have immediately looked for a better position to where you wouldn't be out in the open. Because if the Pharah is coming back and trying to fight it, that means that the rest of them are probably going to try to recontest too, right? Usually teams will indicate if they're trying to recontest by sending 1 or 2 people first. So as soon as that Pharah came back, you should have immediately gone, ran into this room here, and just chilled. Right? You can be in here and you can heal and you can fight, but you aren't in the middle of the point, so you're not taking fire and sticks and ground pounds from the enemy team from above you can just be in here. The Pharah can't really shoot at you because you're underneath a roof, right? And you can just chill in here and heal and fight.
Oh, I'm stuck.
And you blew your Lucio up. I don't know if you could have helped that, but...
Lucio.
Wow, they're actually going to retake this?
Nice bomb.
Stay on point, stay on point, stay on point. If they're gonna, oh,
On point, stay on point, just stay on.
oh, yeah.
They res the Tracer.
How did we
Oof.
lose that?
Oh my god, they're triple.
Focusing tanks. Kept focusing tanks over.
Their Tracer got the hugest of sticks, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, that too.
Their Tracer carried and got both supports. Or, it's Goats, so 2 out of the 3, but Brig isn't really a support.
But like,
But we're focusing the tanks because they stay on the point the longest.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no.
you get the squishies like the Tracer and the Lucio because they're more impactful. Because the
Yep.
Winston can get out easy, but not
That is correct. The Tracer and the Pharah, their win condition. That's really the thing that they can kill you with that you can't kill them back.
the Tracer or the Lucio.
And you guys
They die
see
quicker.
Alright, let's just go
Max
main.
bomb got them off point, but didn't matter. Alright, point, point,
And they've got all of their ults, so they're just gonna dump them on you now.
Point,
Yeah.
just point.
Ow.
Yep. Rip.
That is.
Stack point, stack point.
Yeah.
Mercy, mercy, mercy.
Lucio,
Mercy, 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 mercy on point. Mercy 1.
In grab.
Nice spin.
Nice.
Mercy, mercy.
Very winnable, potentially.
Mercy.
Oh, freeze.
Mercy, mercy
Mercy's still
still.
low. Mercy's still low.
Yeah, I see her.
I literally can't move. Like,
Mercy, mercy.
Now remember, positioning, right?
Can't see her.
And you're too far forward.
Dead.
nice.
Lucio next.
You can back off, right?
Lucio.
Far up, far up, far up.
Far next.
Too far forward. You're in the middle. You're getting shot at by 3 people.
She's one. No recall.
Tracer, no recall.
Big pin.
Tracer. I'm stuck.
You're alive.
That Hammond is doing work, getting those mines that fast.
Farah.
Far 1.
Nice.
Go fast, go fast.
Not yet.
Lucio.
Leave him, leave him.
Go.
Better idea would be to leave him and just go, because
Running next to us.
yeah, he's gonna get away though. He's fast.
Go to point.
I got 3.
Massive.
Positioning.
Mercy's 1.
I believe you're gonna trance anyway, but nice.
Nice.
Lucio.
He did res the Tracer though, so positioning. Remember, you're in the middle of the point again. No good.
Lucio. Mercy.
Mercy
Lucio's
dead.
1. Lucio's 1.
I can't
Lucio's in the
amp,
room.
I can't amp.
Ball.
Tracer's 1.
You win.
Just keep.
Anything aggressive.
You had full armor and full health. You could have just dueled that Tracer.
Mercy. Get that mercy.
Yeah, come back.
I'm being bullied by a Winston and Tracer, dude.
Watch out for mines.
Because you ran away from her instead of fighting her.
Call him.
Tracer.
It's not looking too good here.
Could be.
Ball's low.
Call him.
Lucio.
Monkey.
Yeah, on monkey. Heal me.
I have to get mega.
I'm on health.
Nah,
Stall point, dude.
Couldn't get back.
no good. Yeah,
We didn't even get any progress. Oh crap.
yeah, that's a rip.
They have the ultimate stall, dude. With Ball, Winston,
Like, I
Lucio.
Yeah.
really couldn't. They're all so mobile.
Okay, so you lost this primarily because they ran dive better than you guys ran goats. The whole trick with goats, and the reason why it's run at high ranks, is because if you focus one target, if all 6 of you focus one target, you can kill them extremely fast, and the enemy has to focus one target on you in order to kill you. So the trick with goats is to get on top of the point, get on them faster than they can really react to you, and then focus down individual targets with Discord. That's why Zen is part of goats. Focus down individual targets with Discord to kill them as quick as possible so that the enemy team can't save them, because your damage is only significant if you're all focusing the same target. Now, if you have someone that you can't focus, like the Pharah, that poses a problem because your damage will not really be significant against her as long as she's being healed. Like, if you saw the Mercy was alive that whole time, nobody focused her down, even though she was low, right? You didn't necessarily shoot at her, no one really shot at her, so she got away and got to heal the Pharah for free. She was just free healing, and the Pharah was up there free shooting, right? So they ran dive, they ran Fair Mercy, and they ran their dive tanks better than you guys ran goats. That's the primary reason why you lost. secondary reason is that you were dying a lot, way too much. Mostly because of your positioning, but also because your team isn't protecting you as much as they should be. Now, if this is a pre-made PUG, if it's a pre-made Scrim, and you guys are a team, you need to make sure that you practice drills for protecting your supports, because while Goats is beefy, the supports are the weakest part of it, and the tanks and other supports need to protect each other, right? So make sure that you're getting protected, make sure that you're standing in a place where you can be protected, right? Not in the middle of the point, stand off to the side a little bit, because you see even in pro Goats, the Zen will not necessarily be in the middle of it all. They'll be standing a little bit off to the side, maybe near a health pack, near cover, so that they can deal with people trying to fight them. And like for that Tracer, for example, you let the Tracer bully you out of cover back on to the point. When you had full health, full armor, you could have just dueled her there, right? And that's a matter of aim. You're kind of scared to duel her because your aim is not perfect, and that's understandable, but it's important to make sure that you take fights that you can take and run away from fights that you can't take. Like you tried to fight the Winston of the ball several times because you were mispositioned. If you were better positioned, you wouldn't have had to fight them in the first place. They would have had to come for you and you alone, thus isolating them and letting your team pick them off. So that's the secondary reason, right? So if I were you, I would work on positioning, right? Make sure you're taking good angles, staying in cover, and moving with your team in a safe manner instead of being in the middle. You're almost playing your support like you're one of the tanks. Stay off to the side a little bit, not so far off that you're isolated, but stay off to the side where you can be in an enclosed environment where the Pharah can't just rain shots on you and the Winston can't dive you as easily. And stay alive longer, because you died a bunch here. I don't know if you pressed tab at the end, but we'll see. Like, I'd be willing to bet you have a lot of deaths.
No, they're fair enough.
Get past the play of the game.
Oh, freaking A.
Oh, should have charged. I think the tanks are the biggest problem, aren't they?
No. The tanks.
No,
The tanks weren't the biggest problem. The biggest problem was their Tracer and their Pharah. Both can't really be killed by you guys too effectively unless you focus them, right? If your D.Va shoots herself at the Pharah and you discord the Pharah, and then, you know, like the Zarya beams her down when she's low, stuff like that. If you all focus the Pharah, then you could kill her, but you guys kind of left her alone and she got 21,000 damage, a fourth of her team's damage. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're focusing targets, you know, and actually focus them. Don't just call them out and then ignore them. Focus them, right?
No, the thing is, their rotations are, their rotation is really good.
What map do we want?
I don't know about the rotations being that good. They got caught out several times. Their Lucio fed multiple times, and their ball also fed a few times. But it's mostly that they played in a more coordinated manner than you guys did. They played a more coordinated dive than you guys played a coordinated Goats. Yeah, so 19 deaths, right? 19 deaths. It's a lot of deaths. It's a lot. Especially for Goats, right? You should not be dying very often in Goats. A lot of deaths. And it's mostly due to your positioning, but it's also due to your team not protecting you quite as much as they should. But if they're not going to do that, you can't blame them. You just have to adjust and stay more carefully near health packs, near cover, stuff like that. So, basically, improve positioning, improve coordination, discord people that your other teammates are calling out, and your aim is also a little bit weak. You're kind of lazy aiming instead of aiming each projectile. Each projectile should be one click instead of holding the mouse button down and try to aim them. Because if you can land damage, you can build trans really, really fast on Zen. As Ana, you know, you don't miss shots, because not missing shots is really important for Ana, because then if you miss a shot, the time between your next shot, or this shot and the next shot, is really long, and people can be bursted down in that period because there's no continuous healing. Same for your reload, right? Timing your reloads is important on Ana too. But anyway, hope that helps. Thank you for watching.